Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I am showing you guys how you can do tracking in Davinci Resolve. Now if you do not happen to use Davinci Resolve, this is not a tutorial for you. If you do and you want to know how to do tracking, then follow along. But yeah, so we're going to fire up Davinci Resolve. No matter how good your computer is, it will always take a long time to load this program. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to click New Project, and we're just going to call this Tracking. So now because Davinci Resolve is annoying, it automatically defaults to the Cut tab, so we're going to hit Edit, because that just makes life so much easier. So now you're going to hit Control-I or hit File and then Import Media. So now we're going to go to our desktop, find the clip of our choice, click Change if it asks you to change it, and so now we have this wonderful drone clip right here. So we're going to drag this into the timeline. And now, I don't know what you plan on tracking, but for this test we're just going to be doing text. Okay, so what we're going to want to do first is drag this text effect on top. We're going to drag it all the way to the end, just to track the entire thing. And now, you can do this with images and videos as well, I believe, but for this test we're just going to be doing text. So let's just leave it as title. We're going to shrink it a little bit just to make it smaller, and move it off to the side. There we go. So now we're going to go New Compound Clip. I don't know what a compound clip does, but it turns this into a clip that you can turn into a fusion clip. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select both of these, right-click on them, and click New Fusion Clip. So this will basically join the two clips together and allow you to modify it in the Fusion editor. So when we jump over to the Fusion editor, we can see that we have all these nodes. So here we have media input 1 and media input 2. And then right here is our merge node, so that basically merges the two together. And then here's our media output. So on media input 1, we can right click and click View on left view. And then for media input 2, we can right click and click View on right view. So this shows your source clip and your object that you'll be tracking to the source clip. So now in order to add the tracking, what we're going to want to do is click on Media in 1, and we're going to want to hold, I think it's Control Space. Yes, there we go. Control Space, and we're going to want to type in Planar Tracker. So now we hit Add, and that will add a planar tracker in between both of these. So this is where things get fun. So what we're going to do next is go Tracker, change this from point to hybrid point / area, motion type, translation, and for this we're going to, typically you can go translation for just a subtle tracking across your XY axis and that's it. Or if you want to have a full three-dimensional tracking effect, so for example the text will appear bigger the closer you get to the object, we can click on this. Now this is really hit or miss and it only works some of the time if you really know what you're doing, but for this test we're just going to be doing that. Output, you don't need to change this, it automatically outputs to the background, which is your source clip. You can track channel Luma, blue, green, and red. I just choose Luma because it works best for me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hit Control and we're going to zoom in on the object that we're going to track. In this case it will be this basketball net. So here we can start drawing around it. And there we go. So now we have our object tracked, and so now we have our reference time set to 0, so let's hit. As you can see, reference time is right here. Now this is important that you click set, otherwise it won't work if you have the playhead selected somewhere else on the timeline. So now what we're going to do is we are going to zoom all the way out, and then we're going to hit this button right here, which means track to end. So when we click that, the computer will perform the tracking operations, and we should be up and running in no time at all. And there we go, now the computer has generated all the tracking data, and unfortunately it's not going to be the most accurate thing ever, but what we're going to do now is we are going to hit Create Planar Transform, and this will basically export the tracking data as another node. So now when we click on this, it creates this little node right here, and so we're going to hold down Shift, and then as you drag it over top here, you can automatically click it in place, because if you don't hit Shift, then it won't click it in place, it'll just place it on top of that and it won't do anything. So now your media input number 2, your text in this case, will be tracked to the basketball net. So what we're going to do is we're going to go show this on your right view. And so now this will show you your tracking. So let's go back to the beginning. And now if we drag the playhead around, you can see that my computer is struggling a little, but you can definitely see that the title will track the position of the basketball hoop, which is pretty neat. So once we go back to our Edit tab, we're all done. So this may take a second to render, so just leave it until this red line up at the top here turns blue. My computer's not finished rendering it, so just to show you what it will look like in the end, I'm going to hit deliver and export this entire timeline as a untitled video file. So let's go ahead and go to desktop and just save it as that. So we're going to change it from MXFOP1A to MP4. And so it exports in 4K, even though it's a 2.7K clip. I just have this defaulted to 4K. So we're going to click Add to Render Queue, and then hit Start Render. There we go, and now that the project has finished exporting, we can go ahead and close this. We're just going to hit Save. And now we have this lovely untitled video saved to our desktop. As you can see, tracking worked okay. It's definitely tracking. It's a little jittery, but it worked. It may not look the best, but it's definitely tracking. So there you have it. That is how you track a clip in Davinci Resolve, and you can fiddle around with this yourself if you want to. You can try and make it more precise. You can do quite a bit with Davinci Resolve and tracking and all these fancy effects. So I hope you found today's video useful. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, then I don't care. But anyways, thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.